Yeah, this is stupid as hell. Look at this.
Player sues over Elden Ring's alleged hidden content. Game's difficulty.
What?
Yes, that's a real sentence that was written, that I just read to you, and that you just heard.
Yep.
And yes, the lawsuit is real.
What the fuck?
On the 26th of July of 2024, a 4chan thread was created by self-named user Nora Kisaragi, stating that in 2 months an Elden Ring lawsuit would occur, as he is suing FromSoft over allegations of hidden content behind a barrier of impenetrable difficulty. His initial post in the thread reads as follows.
It's not going anywhere? No, it's not.
25th, 2024 is when Bandai Namco Games enters court for a hearing in my Elden Ring lawsuit that claims we have only played half of From Software's games.
Wow.
And a whole new game is hidden inside, and that it's too hard to access for even its most dedicated fans.
Only 50% of players have gotten there.
You will be forced to realize game devs cater to crazy people because they have courage that you don't, to explore the unknown world. You will be forced to realize hackers have been lying to you, telling you content is cut, when it's actually just undiscovered.
So he thinks all the cut content is actually in the game, but nobody's been able to find it yet? I mean, you have to admit, like, the imagination of a person like that, games must be so wide, like, I mean, I kind of admire the imagination.
No offense, my man, but I think the only crazy one here is you. We are all familiar with cut content, right?
Yeah.
It's not a strange practice for game companies to leave unused assets inside the game's files. Many data miners in the community have already showcased lots of these files, with channels like Zully the Witch, for example, being one of the biggest. It's simply content that, for whatever reason, did not make it into the final release of the game.
They had, like, whole boss fights for Bloodborne and, like, zones and everything that just never got shown.
Remember the infamous Fear's undergarments, right? Part of the Deathbed set, Deathbed Smalls is currently unobtainable in the game. And in the past, having it in your inventory would outright ban you. A Reddit user even made a thread discussing his experience with the item. Someone dropped it for him, and sometime later he got this message on the main menu. He got soft banned. After contacting From Software regarding this issue, the team acknowledged that the item was considered modified data, which caused his ban. The item did exist in the game's files, but it was supposed to be inaccessible on purpose with
there's like, you know, for example, like in WoW, there is a equipable, usable Frostmourne that is in the game. It's in the game files. It's just that you can't actually use it.
In-game way of obtaining it. This is relevant to this case because it proves that cut content is not some super guarded secret. It's just that. Content that didn't make it into the final game for whatever reason, and that can
like
be
the
data
Emerald
mined
Dream
by
and like
people
Vanilla
or
WoW.
obtained via illicit methods. This is very important to consider because Nora states this regarding hidden content.
The insinuation is that game developers have succeeded in hiding the campaign from data miners since the NES.
Wow.
Meaning the parallel universe theory is 38 years old. They've kept it a secret for 38 years.
That's crazy.
Secret campaign in the room with us right now, Nora. Look, it would be...
I think this is great. I do. It's great that the internet has given these people the ability to broadcast their insanity to the entire world. Because we would have never known that a person this stupid or insane ever existed. But now that we have the internet, everybody can be fully aware of it.
Understandable to add a couple of secrets here and there for players to discover. This was a normal practice in old games from the PS1 and PS2 era, like hidden bosses in Final Fantasy games and such. But usually this content was accessible by following a trail of quest lines and obvious hints throughout the game. The point of this, aside from passion for craftsmanship, is always money. Let this be a lesson to all of you poggies. When you're looking for the reason behind a corporate decision, the answer will always be money. Have players talk about it, and have other players buy your game thanks to this information. Make the cost of producing secret extra content...
This is the same reason like Blizzard makes those secret things in game too, and I think it's really good too. Yeah, I like that a lot.
profitable because these
it
things
gets everybody
take time
talking
and money
about
to
it
produce.
at the same
Being
time.
this the case,
The secret cow level. Yeah, that's a great example.
What is the point of inaccessible, huge portions of content? The developers would be wasting precious budget and resources into making pieces of content that almost no one would discover nor talk about for the sake of what? Useless.
Well, I think that there's actually a lot of cases where very few people actually see the end of games. I think this is the case with almost every game. Like, most people that buy Monster Hunter Iceborne probably don't kill Fatalis. I would bet that 5% do. And I wouldn't be surprised if 5% was an overstatement.
Elitism? If not even data miners can find it to spread the rumors and have people interested in buying their product, why make it at all? And mind you, lack of proof of its existence does not count as proof of its existence. I know this is just me arguing with a clearly mentally unstable person at this point, but I believe that healthy discussions can be achieved by discussing each point and the reasoning behind them rather than simply dismiss it as the delusions of a madman. But the more you read into it, the more you realize that that's what it basically is.
Of course it is. My day in court. How will you cope with the truth? I became insane because it's what Hidetaka Miyazaki wanted in the case of Bloodborne. He wanted the players to break the shackles of humanity in the Drained of Blood interview.
And then he proceeds to quote Miyazaki about Bloodborne lore. If this
and he wants the players to
can't tell the difference between in-game lore and real life, then you know that you'll most likely be wasting your time by talking to them. However, like I said, you can always address these issues semi-seriously and healthily discuss them as long as you don't also fall into their delusion bubble, which is what the District Court of the Massachusetts State seemed to do. Like I mentioned earlier, the lawsuit is real. And it's scheduled for court hearing on the 25th of September. You can look it up.
Dude, I would be, if I was working at Bandai Namco, I would be begging to go to that lawsuit. I would be like, please fucking let me be the one that gets to go to watch this live. Like, I want to be there. I have to see this. Like, let me witness this. Yes, please. Yeah, in court. Yeah, tag me in, because I bet at the company, they are like probably arguing over which one gets the privilege to be able to see this happen in person.
Yourself if you want, since Nora provided the docket number for it. I believe this to be evidence enough for us to completely disregard the idea of this being a troll post. This man really went all in and wants to sue FromSoft over a delusion, because even he knows that he doesn't have any evidence for his claims. When inquired about evidence for his claims, this is what he has to say.
Are you familiar with division by zero? The closer an equation gets to zero, the higher the increase of change becomes, approaching infinity.
Actually, that's wrong. Division by zero is when you have a rational equation where x is in the denominator and you keep assigning values to x that approach zero. This behavior is called, in this case, vertical asymptote. As x approaches zero from either the positive or negative direction, the value of y increases or decreases without bound, meaning it tends to positive or negative infinity. This is because division by a number very close to zero results in a very large magnitude of y. The limit of the equation is two intervals from negative infinity to almost zero, and almost zero to positive infinity. And the funny thing is that, contrary to what he said, the graphical change of the equation gets less and less evident the closer to zero the value gets. Sorry, I had to...
You can't explain something like that to somebody who's an idiot because they're an idiot. Like, every time that, like, let's say the cat shits on the floor, you can't sit down with the cat and be like, listen, man, when you shit on the floor, it smells bad. And then I have to clean everything up. And then when I have to clean everything up, I have to buy things to clean up. I got to take time out of my day. Because the cat's just like, where's my food? He's not going to understand that shit.
Bug out.
In this case, we have a whole bunch of hints that there's another world out. No evidence, but these constant hints game developers keep dropping out. For instance, in the case of Sekiro's art book, teasing that he might be a ninja in the other side of the story. In the case of Bloodborne, we see German in the fishing hamlet, in a magazine can. things that haven't been found in their respective games?
Oh.
The first answer is it was cut in development. The real answer is it's a whole new world.
So he thinks that every video game has an alternate reality that he's not able to access, and he only bought half of the game.
My man, that's just world building. A thing developers and creators do to expand and enrich their imaginary worlds for their fictional stories. It's not a conspiracy theory about deliberately hidden content, but we're not gonna convince you, are we?
No.
You know, the thing that caught our attention in the beginning was that we thought the guy was suing FromSoft because of the DLC's difficulty, which turned out to be, about 10% true, perhaps? One can make the argument that the dude thinks the game's too hard and he's making excuses on why he can't uncover perceived hidden content, but we don't think that's really the case. This guy's just a loony. However, who knows?
Jesus.
Maybe some data miner will discover never-seen-before new secrets in older Souls titles and reveal that all this time this guy was an evil mastermind of sorts. But no, I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. At the end of the day, this is just a crazy guy talking crazy shit. Legal experts doubt the lawsuit will succeed.
Well, here's the thing, is that if it existed, people would have found it. How many of you guys hit the wall 100 times in Volcano Manor? Yep. That's right. It's too bad, huh?
Citing the speculative nature of the claims and the challenge of proving consumer deception at the time of making this goofy video. Data miners have not uncovered evidence of a hidden game within Elden Ring or other From Software titles. Additionally, from a legal standpoint, proving that the game's difficulty constitutes deceptive practice under consumer protection laws will be difficult without substantial evidence.
Oh my
and the
God.
plaintiff must demonstrate how this alleged deception
I
has
never
harmed
said
consumers.
it was easy.
Good luck with that, bro. But yeah, we just wanted to share this batshit crazy story, and we're eager to see how
Some
this moves
people are
forward after
so
the day of the
stupid.
court hearing. That's about
I
it.
can't.
See ya.
It would be so fucking funny if they live streamed this trial. Like, if they did that, I don't even know what I would do. I would be so fucking happy. The Truesome people, absolutely. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, this is really funny. I'll link you guys the video. Exactly. Like, yeah. Yeah, watch all 1 minute of it. Yeah, exactly. There's the video right there.